right, we'll wait a few minutes for everyone to get in. My tracks are fully dried, so we'll put those away. How y'all doing? My baby's sleeping in bed. Okay. All right. Hello. Okay. We're going to try to make this work. If this doesn't work, we're going to have to go back and do it another way. Hello, Miss Lioness Leo. How are you? Okay, so let's start with housekeeping. First off, everybody check out my website, www.redpillreadingclub.com. New blog on there. It would be great if you guys could go leave comments. Make sure you are subscribed on either iHeartRadio, iTunes, or Spotify. And leave me a comment and a rating on there as well, okay? TikTok, I am not redpillrage. Instagram, which is my personal page, if you want the full body shots. And if you want to just see, you know, random shit that I do and talk about and clothes that I wear and shit like that, go to Instagram, Red Pill Jenny on Instagram. On Twitter, I am Rage Red Pill, at Rage Red Pill, Truth Social, and Rumble. Please go subscribe over there. Let's enter into the parallel economy. It is the ultra MAGA lifestyle. I mean, this is what we're doing. Okay, this is a lifestyle, and we have to commit to it. Putting America first, putting our free speech first, and making sure that we are locking arms, holding hands, locking arms with those who are creating, hate this word, creating safe spaces for us and continuing to allow us to be who we are and to get our messages out, okay? So go over to Rumble, Red Pill Rage, Truth Social, Red Pill Rage. Okay, who is Jenny Beth Martin? I have my notes. Jenny Beth Martin was at CPAC. And, oh wait, one more thing. Make sure you guys go donate to the fundraiser. I only have a couple donations in. We're gonna have to really go hard the next couple of weeks, all right? Asking for flat $25 donations. Zach is innocent. Miss Lioness, if you are in here, you have a wrench. Could you please, is there a way for me to pin a comment? No. I don't know how to do it through the phone. Okay, Miss Lioness Leo, Cash App, $ Zach is innocent. Can you put that up and keep reposting it as we go throughout the lecture today? So let me find my notes from CPAC. I write everything down because I'm old school. Okay, Jenny Beth Martin. Thank you, Lioness. And here's another website for you to just keep looping it. Okay. Transparentelection.com. Transparentelection.com. I am doing the stream through my phone because, as you all know, over the past 2 or 3 months, I've been having problems. Transparentelection.com. Why is that not working? Did I spell it wrong? I've been, past couple of months, the internet has been really bad in this house, and I don't know why, because the Spectrum guy came by like a month and a half ago, and it's still not working. I don't know if it's because I'm in the front of the house and the router's in the back of the house, or if there's just too many devices on with as many people that are living here for adults here. Um, transparentelection.com is not it's not right. So is it survey and ballot systems? There's electiontransparency.org. Is that it? Westerhouse. I don't know if any, right. Forget what I said. We're just going to listen to a lecture. Okay. Again, one thing I learned growing up in Hollywood, the show must go on. So if I can't do it with the graphics and the screen shares, and we're just going to have to go back to the old school way of me making videos, which is through my phone until I move out of this fucking communist house. And I think this is a lesson to be learned. Okay. When you're living with a communist and everything's equal, everything's shitty, right? And that's what this New World Order is all about. That's what Armageddon is all about. That's what the takeover is all about. It's all about making everything subpar and substandard and shitty for everybody in the name of equality, right? Okay, cool. So I appreciate you bearing with me. Last night was a lot of fun. If you didn't go back and listen to the Andrew Tate Red Pill TMZ, very interesting. Thank you, Lioness Leo, for throwing that up there. I appreciate it. And then also throw up the Cash App. It was kind of interesting. We had an interesting philosophical discussion. We talked about Andrew Tate and his red pill, like red pill dating philosophy, red pill man woman dynamics philosophy, potentially a very narcissistic and abusive person, but also considering that maybe he just sensationalizes himself on video to make himself seem more offensive and outlandish to get more clicks and views. We talked about his human trafficking ring, webcam ring, which may or may not be a thing. We don't know. We're not there. It's too hard to say. We talked about how he exploded his financial empire. The guy is definitely a scam artist, but very, very smart. And so you got to kind of pick and choose what is valuable from his lectures and his interviews versus what is bullshit. So that is the story. You know, that's the moral of the story. You got to pick and choose. You got to take out what's true and you got to discard what's a lie. But yeah, the guy's a complete piece of shit, but a very smart piece of shit. I still like him. I mean, I wouldn't, like I said, I've never subscribed to any of his spam profiles or his main page, but you know, he is a smart guy. Okay, so let's talk about Jenny Beth Martin. So Jenny Beth Martin was on Facts Matter. She was also at CPAC. And while she was there, she got interviewed by Roman Balmakov. I can't pronounce his name correctly. Roman Balmakov. Sorry, baby. Here, you want some earplugs? No. Okay. Um, so let's listen to that. I also have the actual speech that she made while I was there. And I didn't feel like her speech was very good on stage, but I felt like her interview with Roman Balmakov was very, very good. So we're going to listen to that. And the name of the episode is Anti-Election Fraud Training Systems Set Up by the Tea Party. We sat down with Ginny Beth Martin, co-founder and national coordinator of the Tea Party Patriots, a political movement that started in 2009 in protest of Barack Obama's Recovery Act that stands for personal freedom, economic freedom, and a debt-free future. Hello, Canned Meat. Do you know there's a song by Amer-i-CAAANS called Canned Heat? I'm wondering if that's where you got your profile. Hi, Queen Mata. How are you, baby sister? I'm so proud of you. If you guys are not following Queen Mata, she has started her own YouTube channel, so go follow her. I'm very proud of her. Um, and I heard you explaining why you have such a long-ass intro. I don't disagree. I don't disagree. Keep up the work, baby girl. Okay. More recently, the Tea Party Patriots have shifted their focus to an emphasis on election integrity following the controversial 2020 presidential election. Martin explains how since 2020, the Tea Party Patriots, in coordination with several other election integrity organizations, have established a training program for citizens to keep them engaged on the local level. Their, let's see, information. It doesn't say what the name of the website is, but let's just listen together. And I need everyone to get out a pen and paper and take notes so we can figure out how we need to be involved.
And we understand elections have consequences.
Let me know if you can hear.
In 2020, that election integrity also has consequences.
Can you hear it?
So we have been working since really November 2020, training people on how to build a permanent election integrity infrastructure that get involved and have citizens exercising their legal rights under their state law to make sure that they are a check and balance on the election system.
Okay.
We have inflation going on, and that is the worst kind of economic situation you can be in, inflation and recession at the same time. And those increased costs wipe out salary increases and bonuses that people earn, whether Biden and his people want to admit it or not. We're seeing right now in Congress just even more and more and more out of control spending. Thank you so much for having me.
So let's set the stage for the audience, especially for the younger members of the audience, because people in my generation, they were still in high school when the Tea Party Patriots were coming up, so maybe they weren't as politically involved. Can you kind of set the stage? How did this organization actually begin?
Well, we started back in 2009, shortly after President Obama was elected president, in response to the stimulus bill that was moving through Congress at the time. And it back in February of 2009. Now, we also were upset about John McCain voting for the TARP bailout back in October of 2009, and that anger and frustration just finally bubbled up. And Rick Santelli, on the floor of the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, had this rant on CNBC saying we should have a protest like our a Tea Party like our founding fathers. So we wound up having Tea Party protests. 6 weeks later, on tax day, we had over 850 protests around the country with 1.2 million people in attendance around at all of the different events. And then by September, we had over 1.5 million people show up on September 12th, 2009 for a big march on Washington. We stand for personal freedom, economic freedom, and a debt-free future.
So since then, since 2009, of course, Obama has been out of office for a very long period of time now. Even Trump is now out of office. So what is the Tea Party Patriots about now? What are you guys working towards, and what are you trying to achieve?
Well, we still stand for the same three values, and we're seeing right now in Congress just even more and more and more out of control spending. Just this week, we've seen that. And we understand elections have consequences, and we have learned since, especially in 2020, that election integrity also has consequences. So we have been working since November, since really November 2020, but especially in the last year, training people on how to build a permanent election integrity infrastructure with a statewide coalition and local election
I have to write
integrity task
backwards.
forces that get involved and have citizens exercising their legal rights under their state law to make sure that they are a check and balance on the election system.
Can you actually walk us through that a little bit more? So you have these organizations, are they in all 50 states, or are you cherry picking?
We have focused on Georgia and Arizona, Nevada, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Michigan, the states that had the most problems. And those have been where we have focused most of our efforts up until about June. And then beginning in June, we started doing several different conferences, including this one here, CPAC in Texas, so that we can help train people in other parts of the country, because we can't do what we're doing in those states. We've done statewide tours and lots of training. But here's what we're doing. When we go in, we're training people, and there are 8 different steps that we want them to be engaged in at a local level. And these steps were developed by Cleta Mitchell from Conservative Partnership Institute. We worked with Cleta for many years. She's one of my friends and my mentor. And so it includes being a poll watcher and a poll worker. That's kind of what conservatives are.
Okay. Guys, write this down. Number 1, poll watcher, poll worker. I've already been telling you guys this for about 4 months now, maybe 6 months. I've already been saying this, okay? You need to go to whatever county you live in, and you need to go to the website of whatever county you live in, and the training is there. It's an online training. I think it's like a Zoom call, okay? You usually don't even need to leave your house. I heard you were interviewed after CPAC, Red Pill Rage. Who'd you hear that from? Who's starting rumors about me? No, just kidding. Yeah, I did get on Fox News. Yes, girl. Yes, I did. Okay. Just, that was fun. But, it didn't, I wasn't able to like say who I was. So, it's not like it did anything for my channel. It didn't boost me in that way, but I don't care about that. It was just fun to like be there and see my face. And I didn't even know I was on Fox. Like somebody tweeted it and tagged me. I didn't know for like 2 days. Like they aired it on the 5th. I didn't know. Post the clip. Okay, hold on. Here. I think I have it here. It's not it. I like screenshotted it. Okay, y'all want to watch that? Okay. What training are we talking about? Okay, so I'm sorry, I got distracted. It's the poll watcher and poll clerk. Poll watcher and poll clerk training, okay? And most counties have been doing it online. It's not like a class you need to go to in person. It's like a Zoom class. So, you guys don't... Sorry, my baby's asleep. So fine. So fine. Oh my God. Okay. Okay, let's see. What the fuck? Okay, hold on. Where's the sound? Where's the sound? Did I screen record it and there's no audio? What kind of shit is this? Maybe I did. Hold on. They're basically just asking, who you want to run. So I think I come in after these people. I think. Yeah, there I am. Slay, bitch. Okay, that's enough. Slay, bitch. Okay. All right, let's get back to the matter at hand. I wonder if it's screen recorded without audio. or if I'm not doing something right. But that's not important, okay? Point is, I'm there. Okay. All right, let's back to what's important. Let's listen to what Jenny Beth Martins.
We thought you needed to do. Just be a poll watcher and everything will be okay. We learned in 2020 that is not the case. So it includes getting to know the people in your election board and showing up and watching the decisions that they are making before elections ever happen, researching the contracts and understanding the processes for election boards, understanding how absentee ballots work, chasing those absentee ballots to make sure they wind up where they're supposed to, not harvesting or trafficking, but understanding how that process works and making sure they're processed properly when they're returned. Understanding the election system, which includes the paper and also the computers, and being present for logic and accuracy testing. They're a bunch of different steps throughout this, and it is year-round work. And what we're trying to do is build permanent election integrity infrastructure. So it's not just a flash in the pan for 2020 and 2022, but something that we continue for the very long term. So that's what we've been very focused on, while at the same time watching what's happening in Washington, D.C., and knowing that we do want to affect legislative change, but we've got to make sure we get these elections secure so that when people vote for a better economy in November, we can trust the outcome of the election.
So what kind of anecdotal feedback are you getting from the people you're training? So you're going into these different states. I imagine the training is very state specific, right? So it's like you're, for instance, in Pennsylvania, these are the laws. This is how you follow the laws. This is how you implement them. Once the people get trained up and then, let's say they go into their individual polls, are they telling you that the people who are already working there, are they following the rules? Do they know the rules? How's the situation when they're coming in?
So I will say that I think the place where we've seen the most organization is Georgia. I'm from Georgia, though I just moved to Florida in the past couple of months. But I think the reason for that in Georgia is because of a man named Garland Favorito and a group called Voter GA. They've been around for years, and so they have this network to build on top of and to supplement. And in Georgia, we've got local task forces, and the results that we've seen since the primary, we've seen people who have had hand recounts and risk limiting audits. I'm not a huge fan of risk limiting audits, but they're better than no auditing at all. So we've seen that county boards are stepping up and doing those audits and checking their work and trying to build faith in rebuild that faith in the outcome of elections. In DeKalb County, Georgia, which is the 4th largest county in the state.
Y'all need to be writing this down.
Majority minority county and a majority Democrat county. In the primary on the Democrat side, there was a lady who was running for county commission, and she realized in her own precinct she got 0 votes, and she knew that wasn't right because she voted for herself. And so she started raising some alarms about this. And to make a very long story short, the election board, Democrats and Republicans, all helped out and made sure that they helped get the outcome of this election right. They did a hand count of that election, and instead of coming in third.
Now, here's the thing. We don't want to work with the Democrats because we fucking hate them, right? At least I do. But here's the thing. Do y'all really think that if these systems are in place, if this fraudulent tactics are in place in national elections, that they're not also in local elections? So I would think that even in Democratic cities, hello, Callie Karen, long time, nice to see you back. I would think that even in Democratic cities where they're pushing, you know, their progressive fucking agendas and their progressive candidates and shit, Democrats would want to know amongst themselves if the elections are fair, right? Right? Like, let's just take Bernie Sanders, for example. Do y'all really think Hillary beat Bernie Sanders? Like, I don't know. I really don't think that she did. I really don't. So, I mean, she stole the nomination from him like twice, in my opinion. No, once. She stole the nomination from him. Okay? So, as much as we don't like Democrats, if we can get to a place of maturity with them and they can get to a place of maturity with us, maybe we can all kind of troubleshoot this together and be just saying.
Place, which is what the machine count showed. She actually was the first place finisher, went on to the runoff, and then is now the nominee for the Democrat side. There was an anomaly in this particular race because a person dropped out of the race. So there were 4 candidates. He dropped out, and there were fewer.
Yeah, Bernie got paid to shut up. Bernie got paid to shut up. But he got more votes than Hillary. He did.
Candidates on the ballot. So maybe somewhere along the way there was human error in removing him off the ballot. And we're still trying to pin that precise spot down, not to pick on anyone, but just to go, okay, well, that's where you kind of made a mistake. Let's make sure we document that well so it never happens again to anyone else. But the point is, in this Democrat county, they said, you know what, the outcome of the election is important, and making sure we believe the outcome and that we get it right is important. So they got it right before certification, and no lawsuits had to be filed in that race. So it's not perfect. There's still a lot of problems, but what we're trying to do is to catch those problems before certification, and much as individual citizens are empowered to do, working within the law in their state to get things right.
All right, just to pause here for a super quick moment, I wanted to mention that the sponsor of today's episode is a super cool company, Secure. And they're a cool company for people that actually care about their privacy. Because listen, matter, because all your messages, best of all, they are, from what you've described, you're just equipping people with the knowledge of the laws that are already on the books. What do you make of the media's portrayal of your work, though? How you're essentially installing people who, let's say, well, I mean, they just call it the Stop the Steal crowd. They just kind of blanket, with the broad, the broad brush strokes,
Right.
Patriot. What do you make of that?
The media is going to do what they do. They clearly have, the mainstream media clearly has an agenda, and they're not interested in paying attention to the truth or understanding both sides of anything. So I try not to lose very much sleep over them. One of the things that we have done, we go through and give these different rules that everyone needs to be engaged in. And one of those is to make sure that you're polite and that you don't get angry, especially if you're talking to like an employee of an election office. And I always kind of joke about it, and I say, I'm from the South, so if you get really mad, just say, bless your heart. And that's a way in the South we kind of insult people, but we're sort of passive aggressive, so you're kind of nice, but everyone kind of laughs about it. And I just say, and then we document it, and then we'll deal with the problems and keep on smiling. Well, the New York Times, that recording of me doing that somewhere, and they were doing a hit piece on CLEDA and Conservative Partnership Institute, and they mentioned me, and they said, and she said, bless your heart. And I'm like, to that, just bless their hearts. They're not even trying, and they're so transparent in their bias that I don't know, I can't control them. What I know is that we are following the law. We're equipping citizens with understanding the law, and there are some things we can't do. I can't go just file lawsuits all the time. That takes an attorney. I can't arrest people. That would be a sheriff who can do something like that. I can't do search warrants or subpoenas. That's outside of my scope. I can't break into the computer and look at the code. But what I can do is make sure we at least understand the laws and what we are able to safeguard and correct, and that we are the check and balance that the state law actually has in the statute. And that's what we're trying to do.
So you're essentially making sure that the poll workers are not going to be putting up pizza boxes on the day of the poll counting.
Yeah, that is, we hope to avoid that in the future, and I think now people understand that's not allowed. And if it happens, there will be hotlines set up. There were hotlines set up in 2020, like for the victory campaign, for Trump's victory campaign. But I don't think people understood the importance of that issue when it was happening in real time in 2020. You better believe if that starts happening right now and a call goes into the hotline, there will be someone who's getting before a judge going, no, that's breaking the law. The law says poll watchers are supposed to have access. Make sure they have access. Everyone's learned from what happened in 2020. It doesn't make me sleep better at night knowing there were issues with 2020, but I'm bound and determined to do everything that I'm able to do not to repeat as many problems as I'm able to stop from happening.
So when you mentioned the hotline, do you have your own hotline set up, or are you working together with the sheriffs and the 2,000 Mules True the Vote hotline?
Yeah, we don't have our own hotline set up, so there will be a hotline. I think what will happen, there may be one that is set up through True the Vote and that organization. I'm not sure. I know the RNC will probably have hotlines in the states. I'm sure the DNC will have hotlines. So we're just making sure people, once we get closer to election day, they know where to report the problems. I don't have the manpower or the attorneys to be able to answer those kind of questions. So whatever the hotline winds up being, we need people to report to that place. I will tell you this. One of my roles after the election in 2020, I helped with President Trump's legal team in Georgia. I'm not an attorney at all. I was a litigation consultant. And basically what I did is I took the issues that came into the hotline, matched them with volunteer attorneys so that they could be turned into affidavits, which are signed statements sworn under penalty of perjury that what the person says is the truth. The point is, President Trump would not have even had the evidence and those affidavits are admitted as evidence in court. He would not have had the evidence he needed had people not called into the hotline and those have been turned into affidavits, at least in the state of Georgia. So those hotlines wind up being very important for candidates if they have problems on either side of the aisle.
How many people has your organization trained thus far?
I think that at this point we have trained around 6,000 or 7,000 people. Now, this is in a coalition effort working with Conservative Partnership Institute, the Virginia Institute for Public Policy, and others. But I think it's around 6,000 to 7,000 people, and we have a lot more to train. And then we've got to make sure that those people actually take the training and turn it into activism. There'll be attrition, so we've got to train even more between now and say October.
I wanted to just quickly circle back to something you discussed earlier, which is fiscal responsibility. So you know the national debt is sitting around $30 trillion, but if you include things like unfunded liabilities, Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, etc., benefits for veterans and government workers, I've seen estimates as high as 160 trillion. It's really
staggering,
mind-boggling,
breathtaking.
Let me ask you this: it seems like no matter which administration.
Yes, Callie Karen, this is Jenny Beth Martin speaking. And I had to write backwards so you guys could see it. Jenny Beth Martin, I'm taking notes on this page. And then, look, there's the screenshot. Okay, so real quick, her Twitter is at Jenny Beth M, at Jenny Beth M. Okay, so she has a Facebook page, she has a Twitter, and then the website that you can find the election integrity center is tpartypatriots.org. Screenshot this right the fuck now. tpartypatriots.org. The election integrity center. So I just signed up for Travis County. I just submitted that myself. I need each and every one of you to get on that website and submit it yourself as well, okay? It's only another minute or two of this interview.
The Democrat administration, Republican administration, they talk about it, but when they're actually in power, it seems like the cyclical nature of American politics makes it such that it's a very big focus on the short term. Because even, let's say, if you want to do a long-term decrease, typically that necessitates a short-term increase for some kind of an investment. Nobody wants to cut programs, especially popular programs like Social Security. Is there actually any hope of us not continuing this upward
steep hill to climb right now, and watching what has just happened with the chip bill and the deal that Manchin is making, and there will be a continuing resolution. It's a little bit breathtaking, and it's completely maddening. But here's the situation: we have balanced a budget in the past. It happened with the Congress led by Speaker Newt Gingrich. Back before Trump was president, and during his presidency up until the lockdowns happened with COVID, it was a matter of decreasing spending by 1%, the penny plan, and within 10 years we would have had a balanced budget. And that means out of every dollar, you're just spending 1 penny less. 1 penny, 1%. And we could get it balanced. I'm pretty sure it would take either longer or more than that at this point to get it to balanced. But it is important. We are going to pay that price. We are paying the price right now. It's not just that we are going to in some time in the future. We're in a recession, whether Biden and his people want to admit it or not, and we have inflation going on, and that is the worst kind of economic situation you can be in: inflation and recession at the same time. And those increased costs wipe out salary increases and bonuses that people earn, so you wind up you're not ahead any longer. And it's a real problem. I think people will vote as they go into the November elections based on the economy. And I think we'll wind up sort of at a stalemate if Republicans gain control of either chamber for the next 2 years. Our job is going to be to continue to keep pressure about this particular issue and not give up. And while it seems hopeless, one thing that has given me a lot of encouragement, I've been looking at what the pro-life movement did in America and trying to learn learn some lessons from the great work that they've done. But it took almost 5 decades for them to get from a bad Supreme Court decision to where they wanted to be, sort of back to states making these decisions. And then they still have more work that I'm sure they'll be doing. The point is, they realized it was a long game, and they didn't just get discouraged and give up and go home, and they kept going and they kept going and they kept going. Susan B. Anthony list did over the last decade or so. They've done a lot of work going door to door and having conversations with voters, working to sway hearts and minds. And I think there are some lessons that we can all learn, especially as we're trying to fix the problems with our economy from that.
Jenny Beth, thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay. So she didn't give all 8 of her action item points, but I'm just gonna give you 8. Oh God, I'm gonna wrap this up. He's knocked out. He's snoring. Okay. Shut up. Is this ever gonna work? First it's the internet, now it's the boyfriend. Okay. Oh, shut up. He did, I didn't. He just came over and fucking fell asleep. We need to eat dinner at some point. All right, I'm gonna go through this fast. Okay. Number 1, go become a poll watcher, poll worker. TeaPartyPatriots.org will help you with that. Okay, so sign up there. And like I said, you don't even need to go through Tea Party Patriots. You can go through your local Republican website. They're going to have that there, as well as your county website, so you can learn how to set up and take the class. Number 2, getting to know the election board. Okay, and so she mentioned um, getting to know who's on the election board. So that means names. That means phone numbers. That means emails. If they're doing dirty shit, we're going to fucking dox them. If they're not doing dirty shit, we're going to work with them and stay and keep them accountable when it comes to absentee and ballot harvesting. Number 3, figuring out what's going on with the paper system versus the computer system. Number 4, in Georgia, and she seemed to use Georgia. She referenced Georgia many times during that little interview, talking about the improvements that they made. Okay, so one of the things they did was the hand recounts and something called risk limiting audits. I don't know what risk limiting audits is. That's something we need to continue researching together. Number 5, knowledge of the state laws on the books. So me being here in Texas, this is brand new for me. I've never been a poll worker before. Okay, so thank you, Callie Karen, for typing that up. I'm sure it's different in California where I was from versus how it is here. I don't know. Okay. I'm sure it's different in Georgia, Michigan, Nevada. All right. Number 6, work with volunteer attorneys. Okay. So when she was talking about that hotline that they had in Georgia, she said that when she got the affidavits, she sent them to the volunteer attorneys. My guess is there's probably not a lot of volunteer attorneys that are willing to do this type of work. But if there are, we need to find out who they are and we need to support them. Number 7, this is more in terms of okay, Queen Mata just looked it up for me. This is why I love her. She's very smart. She got the receipts. A risk limiting audit, RLA, is a post-election tabulation auditing procedure which can limit the risk that the reported outcome in an election contest is incorrect. Okay, thank you for defining that for us. In terms of the Tea Party's values, and essentially we are Tea Party, most of us are. You know, we're that harder level of Republican. We're the ones who actually care. So economic freedom. Okay, so this is more about economic freedom. We need to start, we need to start talking about the penny plan, which was implemented by Newt Gingrich, which helped a long time ago. He hasn't been in the game for a long time, so I don't know how many years ago that was. I assume it was in the 90s or 2000, early 2000s, because I haven't even heard his name in the last, 15 years, really. And then this is more of a psychological action item, is that we need to get ready to play the long game. And the reason that scares me is because before we have a chance to take our country back, so much damage is going to be done that I'm scared that it's going to be irreversible. However, we need to put on our big girl pants and our big boy pants, and we need to understand that this is not a fight that is going to be easily won. And I kind of hate that she used the example of Roe versus Wade, because in the 43-year history of that becoming a federal law, or whatever the fuck it was, I believe it was about 60 million American babies have been aborted. That's a fucking high price to pay just to figure it out 43 years later. Okay, and the abortions aren't going to stop. Okay, they're just going to stop in certain states. The abortions are not going to stop. So I don't like that. I'm a very immediate person. I want everything done yesterday. I'm very impatient, but I do like that she is emotionally, psychologically, and spiritually preparing us and warning us that it's going to take more than 2024. We might not be able to get this right before 2024. I don't know if we're certainly not going to be able to get this right before November of this year. Okay. but that doesn't mean we're going to give up, and that doesn't mean we're going to stop. So with all that said, guys, do not forget that the fundraiser for Zach is happening right now. www.defendzach.com. Cash App is $ Zach is innocent. Zach is spelled with a CH. Please make sure you're visiting my website, www.redpillreadingclub.com. Go check out my blog, leave a comment, go subscribe on iTunes and Spotify and iHeartRadio. If you have iTunes, please leave a comment on iTunes so I can make this thing grow. Appreciate you all being here. Thank you for bearing with me. Yes, Zach is still in jail. Thank you for bearing with me. We are going to stop doing the StreamYard for a while until I am in a better space where I have better internet. But thank you for being attentive anyway. You guys have a good night. I'm going to wake this guy up and try to have a good night myself. All right. Love y'all. Bye.